After a bath and change of clothes, Tom felt re-energized and ready to relax a little. He couldn't get too comfortable yet, though, but that time would come. He still couldn't really believe where he was, in a new world, and from what he'd seen of it so far, it wasn't that different to Saren. He moved over to the large window in his opulently decorated stateroom. Brushing the curtains aside, he got a much better view of the surrounding countryside around the palace from the fourth floor. The mountains in the distance, lit by white moonlight, almost beckoned him to explore them. Opening the window, he could hear crickets chirping in the fresh, warm air of the night. Tom had a rule to stop every now and then and just look at the beauty around him. You never know what the future holds for you. Tom looked himself up and down in the mirror before heading downstairs. He always looked good in a tuxedo, he thought. As he was about to exit his room, the phone by his bed rang. It was a communication from Saren. As the call connected, he heard General Morrison and knew it must be about the troops. "Mr. President, sir, hope I'm not interrupting you. You just caught me on the way to the party, Zeke. What can I do for you?" "Well, firstly, sir, may congratulate you on a spectacular success." "Thank you, General. Are you ready to mobilize?" "Absolutely, sir. Divisions are poised and ready to move. You just give me the nod and we can be on our way." "Excellent. The Emperor has given me permission to land 40,000 tomorrow morning, with a further 16,000 the next day. So if you're ready, we do have the go-ahead down here." "Wonderful, sir. Can't wait to catch up with you." "Okay, Zeke. I look forward to it. Morrison out." Although Tom's ideals didn't quite go hand in hand with the military, General Morrison was a man that Tom approved of, and vice versa. It was just a shame there were not more examples like him around. The line disconnected, and Tom paused before heading out the door. He was trying to visualize the scenes that would be greeting the locals tomorrow morning. Thousands of Saren troops in ceremonial dress landing in hundreds of massive transport aircraft, spreading slowly across New Saren from north to south, like a giant protective arm, here to protect the New Sarans and to extend a hand of friendship to the people. It was also another demonstration of ability, much like the difficult landing that morning. A series of tests and a chance to show the New Sarans that the United Saran Empire are a powerful empire that are truly worth pairing with. This was very important to the New Sarans. Nothing impressed them more than a show of precision and strength, and it was a pleasure to demonstrate it to them. After all, Tom thought, looking again at his reflection, if you got it, flaunt it. All heads turned to the stairs and followed Tom down and across the main banquet hall. He had never felt so self-conscious, but he made it to the other side, to the Emperor, where he received a traditional greeting from him. The sight of this was still a novelty to the guests who applauded them. The Emperor wanted to know if Tom was comfortable with his new surroundings. "I trust that your accommodation was to your approval?" "It is perfect, Your Excellence," Tom gratefully acknowledged. "Please, call me Diarmus." This was a good sign. He knew that a way of New Saren showing approval for someone was to dispense with official terms. "Okay, Diarmus. May I ask how the pairing festivities are going?" "Just grand. The people are rejoicing at their great arrival all over New Saren, and we are all looking forward to the wonderful display your forces will give us with their arrival tomorrow." Tell me, how many citizens of Saren can we expect to welcome after the forces are established?" "I have been informed that we can expect about 85,000 in the first week, and a further 100,000 have made settlement applications. It is a very encouraging sign that our pairing has the approval of all our people, Diarmus." "Yes, indeed. Ours is truly a pairing of perfection. One that will last for generations to come and will serve as an example for all Godsmore." Tom's concentration was broken as his eyes met with a beautiful girl arriving at the Emperor's side. She was quite young-looking, with an hourglass figure, golden brown skin, and silky hazelnut hair styled in a most elegant and attractive way on top of her head, the style complementing the cut of one of the nicest satin cocktail dresses he'd ever seen. She was a vision of beauty. He presumed it was the Emperor's wife. but he was pleasantly surprised when the Emperor introduced them. Tom, I would like to introduce you to my daughter and future successor. This is Cetria. Hello, Mr. President. It's a pleasure to meet you. Her slender hand felt soft and warm as her skin met his. He tried to ignore his obvious attraction to her. The pleasure's all mine, Cetria. Please, call me Tom. The Emperor saw his opportunity to leave them alone. If you'll excuse me both, I have to attend something. The two knew then they had been set up, and there was an awkward silence as they both thought of something to say to one another. Tom spoke at the same time as Cetria, making him flush with embarrassment. It was unlike him to be so unfocused, but she truly was a beautiful sight to behold. He imagined himself embracing her gently, stroking her exquisite hair, which looked as soft and shiny as a golden sunset over Saran. But he assumed he wasn't her type, especially now they had just been thrust together like this, and now he had interrupted her, which was not a good start in the new Saren's eyes. He allowed her to finish, but she asked him to speak first. Was it some tradition he was unaware of? How come just a few hours ago he was speaking to millions of people, and now he couldn't say one word right to this woman? He could feel his heart beating fast as he said one thing he wanted to do more than anything. Would you like to dance with me? He couldn't believe he had said it. It was only a thought, but he couldn't stop himself saying it. Hopefully it wasn't against their culture to ask. Time slowed to nothing as he awaited her response. I would love to dance with you. Tom could not believe his ears. He was waiting for a no, but she said she would love to. He grasped his opportunity with both hands, and from this point he would not let go. His infatuation was already building up to become something more. For the rest of the evening they danced and talked about everything and anything, being interrupted only by the countless well-wishers. By the end of the night, Tom felt like something new was growing in him fast. When he put his exhausted head to the pillow, all that filled his head was Cetria. He finally drifted into a long, deep sleep. Upon waking in his new surroundings, his first thought wasn't, "Where am I?" It was beautiful Cetria and the magical night they had shared that previous evening. Unfortunately, as always, there was work to do.